Junie B. Jones and a Little Monkey Business by Barbara Park. Chapter 4, Hoppy and Russell. My room at kindergarten is named Room 9. I have two bestest friends in that place. One of them is the name of Lucille. Lucille sits right exactly next to me. She has a red chair and also little red fingernails, which are very glossy. My other bestest friend is named Grace. Me and that Grace sit together on the school bus, except for not today we didn't, because today Grandpa Miller drove me. Then he walked to room 9 with me, and he waved at my teacher. Her name is Mrs. She has another name too, but I just like Mrs., and that's all. When I first walked into my room, Lucille was looking at that Grace's brand new shoes, and their name was Pink High Tops. Hey, Grace, those new shoes look very beautiful on you, I said. But that dumb Grace didn't even say thank you to me. Grace is angry at you, said Lucille. She said that she rode the bus today and you weren't even there to save her a seat, and she had to sit next to an icky kid. Right, Grace? Grace bobbed her head up and down. Yes, only I couldn't help it, Grace. I said, that's because I stayed at my Grandpa Miller's all night, and there's no bus at that place, and so he had to drive me here today. Then I tried to hold that Grace's hand, only she quick pulled it away. That's not very nice of you, Grace, I said. And so guess what? Now I'm not going to tell you my special secret. That's when Grace called me a poopy head. Lucille held my hand. I don't think you're a poopy head, Junie B., she said, and so you can tell me your special secret, and I won't tell anybody, not even Grace. That's when that Grace kicked Lucille in the leg, and so Lucille pushed her down, and Mrs. had to come pull them off of each other. I raised my hand very polite. I wasn't involved, Mrs. After that, we had to sit down and do some work. It was called printing our numbers. Only I couldn't do mine that good, because Lucille kept on talking to me, that's why. Come on, Junie B., she said in her whisper voice. Tell me your special secret. I won't tell, I promise. Yes, only I can't, Lucille, I said, 'cause no talking to your neighbor, remember? Then Mrs. snapped her fingers at me. See, Lucille, I told you no talking to your neighbor, I hollered. Now I got snapped at. Just then a boy named Jim said, Shush, to me. Shush yourself, you big fat Jim, I said. After that, Mrs. stood me next to me till I finished my work. Then I got all done and she collected it. That made me happy inside, because guess what comes after work? Something very fun, that's what, and its name is show and tell. Mrs. stood next to her desk. Who has something interesting to share with the class today, she said. Then my heart got very pumpy, because I had the most special secret in the whole wide world. I raised my hand way high in the air. Oh, oh, I hollered real loud. Me, me, me. Mrs. shook her head at me because I'm not supposed to go, oh, oh, me, me. She called on William. He is a crybaby boy in my class. I can beat him up, I think. William, said Mrs., since you raised your hand so politely, you may go first. And so then William carried a paper bag in the front of the room, and he took out a jar of 2 dead crickets. Except for William didn't know they were dead. He just thought they were sleeping. Jump, Hoppy, jump, Russell, said William. Then he tapped on the glass. Hey, wake up in there, he said. After that, William started shaking the jar all over the place, and he wouldn't stop. Wake up, I said, he shouted. Then Hoppy and Russell started falling all apart, and Mrs. had to take the jar away. That's when William started to cry, and he had to go to the nurse's office to lie down. And so then I raised my hand way high in the air again, because guess what? My show and tell was very better than 2 dead crickets. Chapter 5, Monkey Business. Mrs. called my name. Junie B., would you like to go next, she asked. Then I jumped right up and I ran speedy fast to the front of the room. Guess what? I said, very excited. Last night my mother had a baby, and it's the boy kind. Mrs. clapped her hands. Junie B. Jones has a new little brother, everyone, she said. Isn't that wonderful? Then all of the room 9 clapped too. Yes, only you haven't heard the best part yet, I said very loud, because guess what? He is a monkey. That's what else. My new brother is a real alive baby monkey. Mrs. got a funny look on her face, and she squinted her eyes very tiny, and so maybe she didn't hear me or something, I think. I said, I've got a monkey brother, I shouted real louder. Then that mean Jim jumped right up from his desk and he hollered, Liar, liar, pants on fire. No, they are not on fire, you big fat Jim. I said, I do too have a monkey brother. You can ask my Grandma Miller if you don't believe me. Mrs. raised her eyebrows way high on her head. Your grandmother told you that your brother is a monkey? She asked. Yes, I said. She told me he has long fingers and long toes and lots of black fur all over himself. After that, Mrs. kept on looking and looking at me. Then she said it was for my turn, time to sit down. Yeah, only I'm not done telling the children about my monkey brother yet, I explained. 'Cause guess what else? His wallpaper has pictures of his jungle friends on it, and his bed has bars on the side, but I'm going to teach him not to bite or kill people. This Then this boy named Ricardo, who has cute freckles on his face, said monkeys are cool to me. I know they are cool, Ricardo, I said, and guess what else? Maybe I can bring him to school on pet day. Then Ricardo smiled at me, and so he might be my boyfriend, I think. Except for there's a boy in room 8 who already loves me. Just then, Mrs. stood up and pointed at me. That's enough, Junie B., she said. I want you to sit down now. You and I will talk about this monkey business later. And so that made me giggle, because monkey business is a funny word, I think. Then I waved goodbye to my new boyfriend, Ricardo, and I skipped back to my seat. Chapter 6, Bestest Friends. Recess is my best subject. I learned it my first week at school. Recess is when you go outside and you run off your steam. Then when you come in, you can sit still better, and you don't have ants in your pants. At recess, me and Lucille and that Grace play horses together. I'm Brownie, Lucille is Blackie, and that Grace is Yellowy. I'm Brownie, I hollered as soon as I got outside. I don't want to play horses today, said Lucille. I want to know more about your monkey brother. Me too, said that Grace. Then Lucille pushed that Grace out of the way, and she whispered a secret in my ear. If you let me be the first one to see him, I'll let you wear my new locket, she said. Yeah, only guess what, Lucille? I said, I don't even know what a dumb locket is. And so then Lucille showed me her locket. It was a little gold heart on a chain. Isn't it beauteous? She said. My Nana gave it to me for my birthday. Then she opened up the little heart, and there was a little bitty picture inside of that thing. Hey, there's a teeny head in there, I said, very excited. I know, said Lucille. That's my Nana. See her? I squinted very hard at the little picture. Your Nana is shrimpy, Lucille, I said. After that, Lucille closed the locket and she gave it to me. Now I'm your best friend, right, Junie B? She said, and so I can be the first one to see your monkey brother. Just then that Grace stomped her foot very hard. No, you cannot, Lucille, she hollered. I'm her best friend, 'cause me and her ride the bus together, and so I get to see her monkey brother first. Right, Junie B? Right? Right? I made my shoulders go up and down. I don't know, Grace, I said, 'cause Lucille just gave me this locket with the teeny Nana, and so that means she gets to go first, I think. That Grace stomped her foot again. She made a mad face at me. Pooey, she said. Except for just then, I got a great idea. Hey, guess what, Grace? I said, very excited. Since Lucille gave me something beautiful, now you can give me something beautiful too, and so that would be very fair of me, I think. Then that Grace started smiling, and she took off her sparkly new ring. Here, she said, I got it out of cereal this morning. See how shiny this stone is? That's because it's a real, genuine, fake plastic diamond. Then she put some breath on it, and she shined it on her sleeve for me. Ooh, I said, I love this thing, Grace. I know, she said, and now I get to see your monkey brother first, right, Junie B? Right. After that, I had to think a little bit. Yeah, only here's the trouble, Grace, I said. Now I have one thing from you and one thing from Lucille, and so it's a tie." Then Lucille quick took off her red sweater with a Scotty dog on it, and she tied it around my waist. "Here," she said, "now I'll give you two things, and so I'm still the winner." "Oh, no, you're not," hollered that Grace, "because I'm going to give Junie B my snack ticket for today, and so she can have my cookie and milk." "Excellent idea, Grace," I said. Then me and her did a high five. "Oh, yeah," said Lucille. "Well, then I'm going to give her my snack ticket too, and so I'm still the winner." After that, Grace looked all over herself. "But that's not fair," she said, "because I don't have anything else to give her." And so I looked all over her too, and then I jumped up and down. "Yes, you do, Grace. You do too have something else you can give me, and their name is your new pink high tops." That Grace scared at her feet, and she looked very sad. "Yeah, only this is the first time I ever wore these," she said, real quiet, and so I patted her so she would feel better. "I know, Grace," I explained nicely, "but if you don't give them to me, then you won't be able to see my monkey brother." And so then me and that Grace sat down on the grass, and she took off her new pink shoes and she gave them to me. "Thank you, Grace," I said politely. Then I stood up. "Okay, your turn," I said to Lucille. "Only too bad for me," 'cause just then the stupid bell rang.